Hello mandolin players, nice to have you here for another Facebook Live session. And I'm here to answer some questions that you've sent me. And the topic for today is chord melody playing. And also question about mandolin strings and some equipment question. And also about how to avoid getting tired and feeling pain in your left hand. And this is actually my favorite topic. I'm going to share with you some good vibrations there. But I say that until the last. Yeah, my name is Magnus. I'm from Sweden. Mandolin player and teacher. And would be very interested to hear if you want to leave a comment also telling where you're from what place you are watching this. And the first question is from Peter. He's asking me, he's writing like this: I'm very much enjoying learning these chords and looking forward to your jazz chords. And he is referring to this chord charts that I've shared with a lot of you. You can download it at my website. And also he says that the follow-on Q&A videos are also very helpful. One question. It looks like sometimes when you do a quick little progression to show how something works, you use your pinky to add a note. Or raise a note to the chord for a little additional flourish. Flourish. I know guitar players do this a lot. For example, adding the 7th before a transition. Can you talk a little bit in Q&A about what note or notes you add? And when? And I suspect a lot of intermediate mando players will appreciate it. Thanks, Peter, for your question. And I think how I read the question, it's these little things that you talk about. That we're playing chords, but also like adding and this leads me into like the chord melody playing, because what I'm doing here is actually using this 3-string chords that I think you're familiar with at this point, and I'm like opening up a finger and also adding playing a little melody above the chord. And for chord melody, as I said, you can use these chords as a foundation for that kind of things. So for example, if we take the song Fly Me to the Moon. Very simple melody, and when I'm playing it, maybe I will choose to play it up here. The 7th. So this is something that you can try. We stay now only with the 4 first chords here. The melody. So when playing the melody here, I'm also adding a little bit of the chord, and I'm using this A minor shape that we find in the chord charts, and we play it down here. And I just adding that one up here into D minor, G, so the trick is to you first find the melody, and then you also think of, oh, what chords and what shape can I add up here. So I think that's what you're asking for here, and you also mentioned here like adding the 7th before a transition to the next chord. That is very common, like I'm doing here. For this C major 7, then the dominant 7. And that leads us to the F major 7 there. So that is something you can try, and you can also, of course, now I'm playing it without like playing the rhythm, but it's also so it's all those 3-note chord shapes that I'm using there, like under the melody. So I think it's that thing that you're thinking of, and I hope that can answer your question a little bit. And I'm not very experienced playing chord melody things, but I really like this style, and I think these things, as I know this very well, it's a very good foundation for me playing this kind of things. And I'm very inspired by players like Aaron Weinstein and Chris Thiele, also doing like, he has very nice songs doing both chords and melody at the same time. Yeah, I go on with the next question. And here's Jeremy is asking me, which version of the Phoenix mandolin are you playing? I'm also curious which string and the gauges you play with. I very much enjoy your videos. Thank you much, Jeremy. And I play the Phoenix mandolin, you already know that. And this is a question a lot of people is sending me these questions. So I think it would be good to include in a video. And this model is called the Neo Bluegrass model. And now the Phoenix mandolin isn't in production anymore, but even when it was in production, I think this one is called the standard nowadays. They only changed the name from Neo Bluegrass to standard. And for the strings that I'm using, and I'm not sure if they string gauge or string gauge. I don't know how to pronounce it. I mean, but you all understand we're talking about the dimensions here of the strings. And this is like my ordinary 11 set that I've been playing for many years, the Dadarios. And these are really good, I think. It works better than the elixirs on my mandolin anyway. But then also for a couple of years I was using this more light gauge strings. These are 10s. Would someone just send me a comment if is it called gauge? Please gauge yes, or is it another way to pronounce it? So these are like my standard set that I've been using for years. Both have qualities, I think, using a lighter or more heavy. And the lighter ones are easier for your left hand, I think. So for legato playing and things like that, I like to use them. But now also recently I tried this straight up strings. And it's worth trying out for sure. They work very well on my guitar, and I think also they work quite good on my mandolin. And they're a bit special when it comes to the gauges, because it's more heavy on the top strings and lighter in the bottoms and here in the middle. So there's an idea about that, and you can read about it more. But that's I hope that answered Jeremy's question and other people think about mandolin strings. And you can actually go to my I have this gear.magnuszetterlund.com. If you go follow that link, you will come to see some instruments and picks, strings that I recommend, that I use, and that I won't put anything there that I can't recommend to anyone else, because yes, good. I also wanted to a little shout out here. I got this message on Facebook Messenger just a week ago or two. Hi Magnus, my name is Chuck Klimek. I watch your videos from Chicago, Illinois, USA. I really enjoy your video instruction. It has helped me a lot. Thank you. And thank you so much, Chuck, for sending me a message like this. It means a lot for me. And I want to share this little story with you, because also it is almost 2 years now that I was, I would say I decided that I would like to try to teach online. And one of the very big obstacles for me was I had this question: would anyone be interested? You know, there's so many good players out there, and there is a lot of them teaching. So who will pay attention for me sitting here in Sweden and teaching this stuff? But I came to the point when I realized, well, the only way for me to get the answer to that question, who would be interested, is to try it. So, and I'm really glad I did, because I'm having so much fun doing this, and I got through the obstacle, and now I've been doing it a lot, and this is like Chuck is answering my questions really, and to hear that it helped him with my videos, it's, as long as that things happen, I will keep on doing this for sure. And I also like to share this story because I think maybe it could serve you for a little inspiration for you as well, because I mean, I'm quite sure you also have things and visions, dreams, maybe some goals that maybe you want to play with that musician. Maybe you want to start a band, or maybe you want to play at a certain festival. But then there is also this thought in your mind about who would be interested hearing me play. Well, I can't play. I mean, there are so many better mandolin players than me. Who would be interested? You know, this kind of thoughts, just like I had. But you know, I really want to encourage you to don't listen to that voice. You do your thing, you dream big, and you will make it. I'm quite sure. You're limiting yourself. But if you believe you can do it, I'm sure you can. So I hope that can be a little inspiration for you. And thanks, Chuck, again. Very much appreciate it that you sending me this message. Last question is from Diane. She says like this, and this is also after playing around with this chords and the mandolin chords. Diane says, I play guitar and can do all types of chords, acoustic or classical guitar style, But on mandolin, it's hard to get the fingers pain-free when doing the 3-finger chords. How do you do that? And I actually answered Diane straight away on an email that your fingers should not hurt. And two things that I'm thinking of. First of all, it might be something with the setup of your mandolin. If your string height is too high, it takes too much effort for you to press it down, and that can of course hurt your fingers, both your fingertips and also like the muscles in your hand. So be sure to keep if you have an adjustable bridge like I do and most mandolins do have, keep it, try to lower the string so it's not too high, and that will take away some pressure from the left hand. But there is also another thing that I want to tell you, because the problem might be that you're pressing too hard. You don't want to strangle your instrument. And if you press too hard, it will be very not good for your hands, and also not good for your playing and for your tone. And one way I like to make sure, because I mean it comes down to this: you want to press it. If you press it too little, if you're too loose, it's this sound, right? And but there's a point when it's clear, and if you press it further on from there, it won't improve the tone anything. It might even raise the pitch of it. So you want to find that sweet spot of the left hand pressure. And one very good way to find this sweet spot is, if you have your mandolins by your side, bring it out, grab it like this. Put your left hand to the headstock. We strum a chord like this. Can you feel there is vibrations in the instrument coming through from the strings to the instrument, the headstock, into your hands, into your fingers? If you're keeping it too tight, you have a hard time feeling it. But if you put it very lightly like this, music is sound, right? And sound is vibration in the air. So you don't want to take away the vibrations from your instrument. You want to make it vibrate as much as possible. And if you put your left hand here, do the same thing, strumming a chord, open chord. If you practice this, and I think you will also you can feel the vibrations coming into your hand. This is the same thing when you're fretting a note. We can play, well, let's do one of these movable 3-string shapes. I do the A minor 7. Same thing when playing that. You should be able to feel the vibrations from the string in your left hand. You can experiment to press harder. But I think there's a sweet spot when you get a good sound and you get a quite light left hand pressure. This also comes down to playing single notes. But searching for these good vibrations, that will really train your awareness of this left hand pressure. So this is something you can do actually every day. When you pick up the instrument to play, you go, maybe you want to search a little bit here. All the time I can feel that there's a little, yeah, the vibration is there in my left hand. So that's Diane. Make sure you have the right string height and go search for those good vibrations, and hopefully that can take away like the painful feeling of your left hand. It shouldn't feel like that. And you say you play guitar, and I think playing guitar is a lot more stretches in your left hand, also like the bluegrass chord. Also this is much more a stretch. Those three strings, those 3-string chords, they come very close together. So yeah, for me they feel very comfortable in my hand, and I think it's just a question of pressure and get used to it. Yeah, that was those 3 questions I have chosen for today's session, and I'm not announcing the next Facebook Live because I have this this video course that I'm making, and I'm gonna put my effort into that. And if there is time, I will do another Facebook Live, but then I will announce it only the day before or things like that. Yeah, and one thing I also want to mention, if there is people that haven't downloaded the Jazz Mandolin chord charts, go to my website mandolinsecrets.com, and there you can find them. If you go straight to that page is mandolinsecrets.com/jazzchords. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much. And also one thing, this is the last thing, like I said here with this message that I got from Chuck. When I had this thought that no one would be interested in hearing my mandolin stories and the inspiration and insights that I do have. So if you also feel that this can inspire you and give you some tips and maybe also improve your playing, please help me to share the message, maybe tell a friend or share the video or something like that, because it would mean a lot to me if you help me with that. Yeah, and until next time, have a good time and happy picking. Bye.